Well, it's Tuesday morning, June 13th. I'm out here in the woods again, visiting another cellar hole. Pretty warm today, so I'm already kind of sweating here in the late morning. There's my backpack right there, and the cellar holes right there in front. There's quite a bit of open ground if I can pan around real quick to show you back in here along the fields and rock wall line walls. I'm sure this place has been hit before because a road runs nearby it, but there's always some goodies to be picked out. Let me show you my first find. And actually, I found something else I didn't get on camera, and I'll show you real quick. So here is my first find of the day, and I'm not going to complain at all. It's a fully intact harmonica reed. Very nice. That was buried down among a lot of trash, a lot of iron here. This site was 1850s, but it was also on the 1915 map. So there's going to be a lot of cross-century contamination. And if you're too close to the road, which runs by here about 100 yards away, you're going to start getting beer cans and pop cans and stuff like that. So I'm trying to stay away from that. So that's a cool first find. And I also got this. This is 20th century, but it rang up pretty high, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I'm going to keep that. Burly and bright, half and half, cargo of contentment in the bowl of any pipe. So I'm going to take a little cleaning to that, maybe a toothbrush, and I don't know. You guys give me your best guess on that. I'm going to say 1950s, 1960s, something like that. I don't think it dates to the house. Maybe somebody like a hunter or something was walking through here. But it's an older advertising label from back in the middle part, probably of the 20th century. So I'll keep that. That's a nice fully intact old relic there. All right, let's see if we can find some other stuff, guys. Like I said, the house is here from the 1850s, so maybe we can find an old coin or something else dating the site back earlier in the 1800s. On to the next. All right, here we are at our next find, guys. And this one's a little interesting. Normally, I wouldn't keep something like this because I thought, it would just be old 100-year-old trash, but it's decorative. See that? And then here's why I'm going to keep it, guys. Look at this. It's got a patent date right on there. Isn't that cool? Patent something February 10th, 1880. So that's cool. I have no idea. And you can see the patent date on the reverse coming through on the back. Patent February 10th, 1880. Really cool. I don't know. Some kind of decorative piece that went on the edge of something. See, there's little screw holes here. So I don't know if that was the top of a stove or what. Give me your guesses there. I'm not sure what that is, but it's got a patent date on it, so I'll definitely keep it and clean that up. All right, let's see if we can find a few other things, guys. On to the next. Okay, here we are again, guys, right after that little pat-pinned 1880 item, whatever the heck that is. About 5 minutes later, came down here, and this one's actually a pretty good find. Right on the edge of the road where it slopes off from the hill. I was over by the cellar hole, and there was a bunch of axe heads and stuff laying there, so obviously this place has been hit before, which is about every place in Vermont, really. You're lucky to find a virgin site anymore. Check on the weird parts where people don't want to go, on the slopes of hills, on the roads in front of the cellar hole, right on the edges here. And look at this, I got a screaming signal, got down there, and look at that, an intact pocket knife. Wood handle with the engraving little pattern still on it. That's sick. I will clean that up. That's one of my better old pocket knives yet. Probably turn of the century. I'm not going to guess too much older than that because they don't really tend to hold up too much longer. Again, this house site was here till about 1915 and then it was gone. So you'd argue early 20th century. I mean, it may be late 1800s, but I would say early 20th century. Very nice find, though. Old relic, 100 years old. Sitting right here, only about 4 inches down. Excellent. All right, on to the next. All right, here we are at our next find, and folks, I finally got myself some sort of coin or token. I just popped it out of the hole. I really haven't even looked at it. I may have to toothbrush it off, but I got a glimpse. Could be a medallion. It's kind of got this weird scalloped edging to it. See that? I'm at an old place, so I think this is some kind of old token. It's not going to be a coin, I don't think. Hopefully something old. Found a lot of shotgun shells today. I see a pattern on it. Let me get my toothbrush and I'll get right back with you and I'll see what it is. That looks interesting though. It looks fairly old. All right, I'll get back with you in just a sec. Great find. All right, I wiped it off here a little bit and try to figure out what it was. It's some sort of foreign coin. I don't actually think it's that old. See that guy with like a hat on him there? It'll focus. And it's got some sort of cryptic writing around it, and I can't make out really anything. The only thing it looks like I thought I saw a 19 for a date and then some weird characters. So I'm going to have to ID that once I get back home. It's an interesting find nonetheless. I don't think it's that old. I think somewhere maybe back in the 60s or 70s or something. It's not quite, as being a copper coin, I think it's not as green as you like to see it anyway. But it's a weird one. I've never seen anything like that. All right, on to the next find. Let's see if we can find some other things, guys. All right, here I am, folks, back at that same place I found that musket ball and that fatty Indian a couple weeks back. Here's these lily beds, but I hadn't really gone into these lily beds that much, so I was just kind of delicately going through here. And I got a medium to high tone, and then I dug it down, and it got even higher, and I see a silver rim right there, folks. At least that's what I think it is. Look at that. Oh, yeah, baby. It's going to be seeded or barber. Let's see. It's a barber. Oh, man, you love to find old silver. What's the date on that? 1899. That's a great find. I don't know if there's a mint mark on it. I actually didn't look. Is it on the bottom here? Looks like it may not have a mint mark. It may just be a Philadelphia mint. Awesome find. Old 1800 silver. That makes up for the last hour and a half of not finding much but a square nail and a strange foreign coin. All right, let's see if we can find something else. That was really shallow and right off the road. Somebody shouldn't have missed that. We're going to stick around here for a little while. On to the next. All right, folks, on to my next find here. Very common. Shout out to the stealth diggers once again, but here you go. Old silver-plated spoon. Not sure how old that is. I'm probably going to be able to get a maker's mark on it. I don't even know if it's silver-plated. It probably is. It's green. Probably get a maker's mark off there right there. It's got some decorative pattern on it, and I'll take it. It's an intact old spoon. All right, let's see if we can find a few more things. On to the next. Okay, we're back inside the relic shack for the wrap-up. As you saw in the video, that was 2 separate hunts over a span of about 2 weeks. One was a cellar hole about half an hour away from me that had been hit hard before, and it was right along the road, but I found a few keepers. And then that last hunt was in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, northeastern Vermont. Actually was hunting with a buddy friend of mine. He wasn't on the video, but hunting buddy of mine that I've been out with a number of times before, and that was very enjoyable. Had a nice hike in the woods and found some decent stuff. Let me show you a few things I didn't get on tape. I did do another hunt in a local park that I didn't really film because I wasn't really going to find anything too old, and I won't spend much time here. I had a 41 nickel, 2 wheats, a 29 and a 41. I did get this interesting little Chittenden County transit token from Burlington, Vermont. Probably dates to the 40s or 50s. Not that old, but heck, that's kind of unique, kind of interesting, so I thought I'd keep that. And then what else did I not get? Oh, I found a flat button at that last site. Doesn't have a shank on it, just a plain Jane. Old coat button from the early 1800s. And I did get a square nail, which was, normally I don't keep all of those, but that's a nice big intact one, and I'll do some electrolysis on that, and I'll definitely put that one in my collection when you find those big ones like that. Okay, on to the stuff I had on tape. On that first site, I found a few of the odd items there. I got this Burley tin of half and half pipe tobacco. My son and I pried it open, and no, there weren't any coins inside, just an empty tin. This post-dated the site, probably dropped by a hunter. Dates to the 30s and 40s, maybe 1950, something like that. But it was pretty well preserved, so I decided to keep that. Got my old pocket knife right here. Early part of the 20th century, most likely. They're much older than that. These brass edges get really corroded. And then finally, this little interesting item that has a patent date of February 10th, 1880 on it. I don't know what I'll do with that. It's made out of some sort of brass item. I think that may have been like the top of a early cooking stove that went around the edge of the eye or burner on there. So that was interesting to keep that. And then finally, on the woods hunt in northeastern Vermont, most recent one, a couple of notable finds. I did get my spoon here. I always keep those if they're in decent shape. Don't have a maker's mark. Very interesting. Just a plain Jane on that one. And then 2 interesting coins. I got this coin here, and what this turned out to be, after some extensive searching, is a 1938 Egyptian 10 millimes coin. And this is a guy named King Farouk on the front. And it's got all this Arabic on the back, so I had no clue what this thing was until I started doing a search with a guy's head on there and typed in scalloped coin, and I finally narrowed it down after about an hour. And my son helped me ID it. He got on the internet and kind of pointed me in the right direction. So anyway, interesting coin. Why that was doing in the ground in northeastern Vermont, who knows? And then my last find, very nice, 1899 Barber dime. Man, you gotta love finding old 1800 silver. Philadelphia Mint Mark common date. Not worth a ton of money, probably 15 bucks, something like that. But man, you always love to go into the 1800s on those old silver coins. Always a nice keeper. I'll definitely be heading back up there again sometime soon. I've been there twice, and I found some decent stuff both times, and there's some more cellar holes and roads to walk up there. So in my next few hunts, when I get back out there, I'll definitely have some more video footage to share with you. All right, well, that's about it this time. Thanks for joining me, and remember to get out there and dig it all. It's waiting for you in the ground to find. This is BTV Digger.